Hi guys, it's Elisa, and I'm really sorry I have not been as active as I have been lately. As many of you know, I work two jobs, and they're very demanding, I guess. Like, I work them every single day. I just got done with a 13-hour shift, and I just got home. So I am really tired, and I have not made a video in a very long time, just because I really don't have the time. Like, I don't. I'm transferring universities, so I've been working very hard on all of that stuff, because moving schools is extremely hard. And this will be the third university that or the fourth college that I'm going to. Like, I'm only a freshman, or I'm only a sophomore, but I've been enrolled in 3 different schools. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't know, but hopefully the school that I'm planning on going to is the final one, but we'll see. I mean, never mind, I'm not going to go into that right now, but I've been working on that, and I've been working nonstop, and I'm a full-time college student, so that's why I just haven't been doing my videos. But I did get a request a couple days ago, and I'm going to do it now. And for those of you, if you have submitted a request and haven't gotten to it, feel free to shoot me an email or something and just, like, let me know. That way I can, like, prioritize it. Like, because normally I get, like, a bunch of requests, and since I don't have much time, I can't do all of them. But if somebody, like, double sends me something or, like, contacts me again, then I'll do your request. So I know it shouldn't be like that, but unfortunately, given the circumstances at the moment, that's how it is. But once I get back all my time, or, like, if I ever have a point where work doesn't need me, my other work doesn't need me, and I have a break from school, and then I'm settled in with my new school, then I'll be able to sit down and review all the requests that I've received, because I have been saving them and putting them aside. So this one says, "Hi Elisa, thank you so much for your inspiring videos. I'm glad you came back after taking a break for a bit. I watch your videos as if they were a TV show, even if the topic doesn't pertain to me, just because of how interesting you make the subject and you're fun to watch." Thank you. Somebody last time said I'm like a Netflix series, and that really made my day. I'm just having kind of a personal issue, and so I want to anonymously ask you. I'm 21 and a college student. I have a lot of friends, and I'm in an amazing sorority, and I love my sisters. I honestly do have a good life, and I can't complain, but when it comes to dating, I'm kind of stuck. I had a serious relationship a while back, but it crashed and burned. I've had little relationships here and there, but I just can't invest myself in them no matter how hard I try. And I genuinely do feel bad, because the guys are sweet. I just have a hard time liking them or wanting to pursue them if I just can't. I've lost some good guys doing this, and I'm not sure what to do. I've moved on from my ex, and I want to love again, but for some reason I can't bring myself to open up to them, even if I physically try. What do I do? Thank you once again, you rock. Alright. So this was a really good request, and I definitely have not done a topic like this before, or otherwise I don't think I have. But I definitely understand where you're coming from. You didn't mention when you and your ex broke up. That's probably, like, even though you said you're over him, you might not be. And I know that's like, no, like, if I'm over him, I know I'm over him. Like, maybe you actually are. But digging into the root of this problem, maybe a part of you is still hanging on to him, and that's why you're finding it so hard to move forward and date new guys. Like, you're open to the idea of dating new people and being with new people, but once it physically gets to that point, maybe your heartstrings just can't tie themselves to that person, because maybe they're tied up somewhere else. Our feelings are a lot like, I guess, physical, let's say, suction cups. Metaphor queen. Like suction cups, or we can use strings, or I'm just going to use suction cups. They are always going to be stuck to something. Even if you don't know what they're stuck to, they're always going to be stuck to something. If you, like, for example, sometimes people can't date people because they're too busy with their job. So in that case, their suction cups are stuck on their job. Some people can't date people because they are terrified of commitment. In that case, the suction cup is stuck on the failure of their last relationship. Some people can't date new people because they are still in love with their ex. In that case, the suction cups are stuck on their ex-boyfriend, their ex-girlfriend. Like, your feelings always are going to be attached to something. Always. You can't just not have feelings. The people who are cold and heartless were were made that way from something that happened. Like, something happened that made them cold and heartless. Therefore, those suction cups are stuck on that. Like, that's something that I learned. You always have feelings, but they're always going to be stuck to something, even if you don't realize it. Even if you think, oh, I don't have feelings for them anymore, or, oh, I'm over them, or, oh, like, no. There is still feelings, but they might be suction cupped to something that you don't even realize. So, even if you are completely adamant that you're over your ex, if you cannot date for whatever reason, maybe there is a suction cup on your ex. Maybe there's a suction cup on, the fear of commitment. Maybe there's a suction cup on time. Maybe you just know that you don't have the time. Like, for me right now, I don't have time for a relationship. Like, if I wanted to have a boyfriend, I mean, there definitely is a boy that, like, I would, but, like, honestly, my priority is not a boy. It's transferring out. It's these 2 jobs. It's my GPA. And nobody deserves to take me off of that route. And no matter how cool a guy might be, my plan or my path does not involve them. Because I know what path I'm going towards. Like, I know where I want to be. And nobody is in that. Like, this is all about me. What I'm doing is all about me, all about my future, all about my career goals. And nobody is going to get in the way of that. I will open up my spectrum. Why did I say it like that? My spectrum. Once I get there. But as of right now, I have one thing in mind. And that's getting out of this school and getting involved into a better one. Even though I go to a really good school right now. But, there's always something better for everyone. But I completely relate to you. I do. And I think every girl has this, like, predicament at one point in her life. But I think what you need to do is reconsider where your feelings might be. And you need to be honest with yourself. Because being honest with yourself is the key to figuring out why you are unable to execute anything new. And also, the main point that I want to make, and I'm sorry, I'm, like, really, really tired right now. Like, I'm literally half asleep. The right person will not have you apprehensive. The right person will not have you apprehensive, I promise. When you find the right person, you are not going to be like, I don't know if I should go on a date with you, or, I don't know if I should call him back, or, I don't really know if I want to hang out with him today just because I'm kind of uncomfortable with it at the moment. Like, the right person won't have you like that. The right person will have you nervous, like, oh, like, I'm afraid, like, I don't know, what if he doesn't like me? Like, yeah, you can feel that for the right person. That's called butterflies. That's normal. But when it's, like, more of a burden, like, like, I don't really know if I want to go out with him tonight, like, you shouldn't feel that way about someone. And if you do, it's not the right person. You can meet the most amazing boys, but that does not mean that they're the right person for you. Oh my gosh, no. You can be married to your dream husband and then go somewhere and still meet really amazing guys who you could see potential in had you not already been married. It's not cheating. It's just like, yeah, you're a great person, but I'm married, like, and I love my husband. But it's the same for this. Like, yeah, you know all these super cool people. Cool. You may know guys who are offering you the world. You may know guys who have a 5.0 GPA. You may know guys who lead a church. You may know guys who are a mama's boy and love God, or if you like punk rock stars who can play every chord on a guitar and every note, and like bar chords, power chords, like everything. Like, you could find the perfect guy. Doesn't mean they're right for you. You have to remember, you have a plan for yourself, and then God has a plan for yourself, and both those plans consist of very different things, and more importantly, very different timing. Your timing and God's timing are so different. We go by months and days and years and hours. God doesn't have that. God didn't give us all that. God has his own timing. So that's definitely something you need to remember, that, like, Godspeed is my favorite quote. I literally had it written on my hand. You can't really see it now, but I took, like, this really, like, expensive marker from Hobby Lobby, and I wrote Godspeed on my arm, and it was there for a few days. But everything is at Godspeed, so that's one thing you need to remember. Wow. One thing you need to remember. I can't talk. But yeah, so everything happens at God's speed, but also it is free will. And this takes me into my, I guess, third point. Free will. I do believe that God has a timing for everything, but I also, on the other hand, believe that we are in charge of what we do. If you meet a guy that you don't like, or no, I take that back. If you meet a guy that you do like, and let's say you're not feeling it for him, like you said in this message, like he's a great guy, he may be really nice to you, he may be very into you, he may treat you like a queen, but for some reason you just don't feel like dating, you're not compelled to pursue him. Okay, so that's I think a sign from God. Don't pursue him if you're attracted to him but you don't feel like pursuing him. That's God saying don't pursue him. However, if you do your own free will choice of dating him, you're not going by God's plan, you're going by yours. Therefore, you are now all of a sudden in a relationship with someone that you don't love, that is not meant for you. Therefore, you are missing out on the opportunity to be with the one. And like I said, I have a video on my channel called like Fate and Soulmates, and I talk about how if it's meant to be, it'll be is not true. What's meant to be will not be. The only thing that will be is what you make be. So there's God's plan for us and there's our plan for ourselves. We have to follow God's plan, and that's what's meant for us. If we just do our own thing all the time, like that gives us what will be made be, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Let's say a guy is really in love with a girl, but for some reason he asks some random lady off of a street to marry him. That's not what was meant to be. That's what he chose to make be. What was meant to be was the girl that he was in love with. So that's just like a side note, and I am really scatterbrained at the moment, and I'm really, really sorry. I did just work for 13-14 hours. I'm really tired, but so that takes me back to point number 3, and I'm really surprised I'm still on that train of thought. Do not pursue what is meant for you. That is like the bottom line of point 3. Do not pursue what is meant for you. Another quote is, what's for you will not pass you. And then a third quote is, only want what God sends. And that is like my favorite quote, pursue what's God sent. I have it written up on my wall. I'm not going to show you just because my room is a mess right now, and like you'd see my whole room if I showed you. But my Instagram bio has literally been pursue what's God sent for months. I made that quote up. I haven't seen it anywhere. It's not on Google or anything. Like, pursue what is God sent. Instead of doing what you want to do all the time, do what God wants to do, because that is what's meant to be. So going back to my point, if you meet someone, and yeah, he's a great person, he's really nice, but you don't really like care about dating him, but then you kind of make yourself date him to give him a chance, that is not okay. Like, I understand, like, yeah, I give it a chance, but then again, like, if you feel apprehensive now, imagine how you'll feel later. Like, I feel like that apprehension will just grow. So instead of spending that time with someone that you're unsure about, just wait. Just wait. There's no rush on commitment. Just wait until you find someone that makes you want it, because I promise you that person will come. It will come. You just can't. Okay, and this is like the final metaphor. Actually, this metaphor that I'm about to say, it's the reason why I decided to do this request tonight. Because I did read this request, and I thought of a metaphor for it, and then I'm like, yeah, perfect, I'm going to do this video now. So the metaphor is, men are a lot like shopping. You can spend a little bit of, let's say, how am I going to word this? I don't want to mess it up. You can spend a little bit of money a lot of times. So you can drop $10 here, $10 here, $10 here every time you date a guy, and not physically cash out on them, but I'm just saying, like, metaphorically, you give all this money to all these little boys. Like, every time you date someone, every time you invest yourself in someone, you are giving out money. You can do that, or throughout that whole entire duration of time, you save your money. That way, at the very end of the road, you have a bunch of money that you spend on one person, and that way that person is going to last much more longer. They're going to be a lot more better, a lot more stronger. There's a really famous quote that says, I'm too poor to be cheap. Think about it. I'm too poor to be cheap. In other words, I don't have enough money to buy cheap things that break all the time, because then you have to keep buying it over and over and over. And it's the same for guys. Like, you can literally do these half-assed relationships all the time, but you are never gonna make a solid one out of it. You can either have all these half-assed relationships all the time and never allow yourself to be single, or you can take all that time to wait for the right one, to work on yourself, work on your funds, work on your education, work on your career goals, work on your future, and then all of a sudden you'll have a super amazing guy at the end of the road who you'll be able to give all your time to, and more importantly, give all of your appreciation to, because at that point you haven't been with a bunch of guys. You really do appreciate the value of dating. Like, there's just so much good, and it's the same for purses. Like, you can either spend like $15-20 on a new purse every other month, or you can take all that money and save it and buy a really good purse, like a Louis Vuitton or like a Michael Kors. I don't like Michael Kors that much. Like Kate Spade, Tory Burch, or like Fendi, or like, you can literally, if you just wait, you will have such a better prize, such a better result than you will if you were to just cash out every time something decent comes along. Quit settling for decent and start saving for amazing, because I promise you that's exactly my life. Like, I've been doing this since I've been old enough to date, which is like middle school. Like, my friends would have new boyfriends every single week, and I wouldn't. Like, I could if I wanted to. There were definitely guys who had crushes on me, but I refused to do something or pursue anything that wouldn't knock me off my feet. I wanted to be mesmerized. I wanted to be starstruck. And yes, it took a very long time. My first kind of boyfriend was 9th grade, but at that point I was like, no, I'm waiting. I'm going to wait till I get starstruck. And it came. End of my junior year in high school, I fell in love with the most amazing boy. And I remember we told each other, this was worth it. This was worth it. The wait was worth it. Because he had been waiting, I had been waiting, and we had finally met each other, and it was worth it. We had that aha moment, we had the light bulb moment, and we were like, this is it. And of course things fell through, obviously, but that's like a whole different point. If you just wait, it'll be so much better. So quit pursuing half-assed relationships, because they just make you so negative. They literally, half-assed relationships do nothing but make your outlook on dating just disgusting. They do nothing but make you lose hope in humanity, make you lose faith in people, make you lose faith in commitment in relationships. Like, half-assed relationships really devalue your outlook on what a relationship should be like, because you're giving yourself to all these people, and guys, it's the same for girls. You're giving yourself to all these people that spit on you, play you, blow you off, hurt your heart, lie to you, cheat on you, when instead you could just be waiting, working on yourself, and therefore be rewarded with a really good person who will give you everything and really treat you the way you're supposed to be treated. You just have to wait for it. You just have to wait. And I know it's painful. I'm not saying shut yourself out. Definitely put yourself like out there, but don't. Here's another metaphor that I like. You'll see a commercial for a Toyota. You'll see commercials for Kia. You'll see commercials for, I don't know, what's another car brand? I'm really like blanking right now. Wow, am I really blanking on car brands? You know what I mean. Mazda. Like, you'll see all these commercials and billboards and advertisements for all these brands, but have you ever seen a commercial for a Rolls-Royce? Have you ever seen a commercial for a Ferrari? For an Aston Martin? I haven't. You know why? Because the most valuable things don't have to show how valuable they are to other people. The greatest things don't tell, they just are. It's like, the smarter a man claims he is, the less smart he actually is. Like, it doesn't matter how great you are. If you talk about how great you are, you're all of a sudden less great. Like, the best people are low-key about how amazing they are. The most valuable things know that they're valuable, and they don't have to prove it. And that's exactly how people should be. That's exactly how I try to make myself be. Like, I've never seen a commercial for a Rolls Royce, therefore I am the Rolls Royce. You have to make yourself less, like, make sure people know your value, and make sure that you know your value, but don't put yourself out there like a Toyota commercial. God, Lord, every time I see a Toyota, I've never been like, oh, what a nice Toyota. Ooh, I want a Toyota. Like, nobody wants something that's been around. Nobody wants something that everybody knows about. Nobody wants something that you hear about all the time, or that you see all the time, or that, like, that is available all the time. You want something that you can work for, and something that people look up to, and something that people value, and something that holds its value and is sustainable. Something that a person has to work for. Be that. Don't be a Toyota, be a Rolls Royce. This is by far my favorite metaphor. But yeah, I'm not going to go ahead and recap all my points because honestly, I forgot. I have like the brain capacity of a fish right now. But however, if you do want to hear or like rehear everything that I've said, just please go back and watch this video because I feel like I've given you so many points that you can absorb. But for the most part, I think I've covered my points. Know your value. Wait. It'll be worth it. Just work on yourself. And I promise you, people will notice. I don't know. Never mind. I was going to go into another metaphor, but I'm too tired. That's pretty much all I want to say. I really hope my request helped. If you want to give me any updates later on down the road, I'm totally open to it. Thank you so much for sending in your requests. And don't forget, you are valuable. You are worth it. Make sure that you know it, therefore other people will know it, but don't put yourself out there. Wait. There's no rush on commitment. God has different timing for everybody. Godspeed. And don't pursue what's not meant for you. Don't pursue things that you are apprehensive about. So that's pretty much all of it in a nutshell. Thank you so much. And if anybody else wants to send me any requests, I have a YouTube video called Contact Me. And you can watch it and see different methods of contacting me on there. So thank you all so much. Have a good day. Bye.